The 2020 Natatanging Gawad Buhay for Theater is Vicente Alfredo Ruiz Santos. But no one really calls him that. He is Freddie Santos. Freds, Kuya, Tito Freddie, Ninong Freddie, and to a vast majority of people in the music, television, film, live events, and theater industries, he is Direk Freddie Santos. Not only is he known by many names, he is also seen as different personas at different times. A multi-talented, multifaceted person with a larger-than-life personality, Freddie is an actor, singer, teacher and mentor, designer, director, composer, lyricist, playwright, you name it, he's probably done it. In those personas, he's been perceived as witty and wise, outlandish and outspoken, creative and crazy, fun and funny, but also downright frightening, arrogant and amiable, gregarious and very nearly egregious, yet incongruously kind and incredibly thoughtful. A know-it-all who most likely does know it all, but is never stingy about sharing what he does know. Generous and giving to a fault. Passionate and punctilious. A force to behold. From early days, Freddie's passions were focused on theater. Spell that, Theatre, and never anything else. His professional debut as an actor was as a bit player in Repertory Philippines' 1976 production of Juno and the Peacock. His natural aplomb and confidence apparently shone through because just a production later, Rep's discriminating head, Vivo Amador, handed him the lead role in How the Other Half Loves. This was the first of many such roles as Freddie was cast in every single Rep production for 5 years, taking on roles big and small and making each one unforgettable. Freddie's fortunes changed when he left the comfort zone that was Rep and discovered the world of Teatro Pilipino, where he was challenged to perform plays both in Filipino and English and experienced the genius of national artist Rolando Tino. Freddie supposed that some of Tino's genius must have rubbed off on him because he came away from that encounter inspired by the man and determined to make his own mark, just as Tino did. Making that mark took him to trying his hand at dinner theater productions with Roxanne Lapos and SRO Philippines, and a stint with Julie Borromeo's top production where he gave a landmark performance as Don Quixote in Man of La Mancha. As an offshoot of these ventures, he got to know many mainstream performers for whom he would become a mentor, teaching them how to enhance their performances and helping them reach celebrity status. He found himself writing music and lyrics for them and then progressed to directing their concerts. Freddie would dominate the concert scene from the 1980s well into the 2000s, and it was thought that you hadn't really made it unless Direk Freddie had directed one of your concerts. That in turn opened a door to directing corporate events for some of the biggest multinational and local corporations. Freddie may have diversified, but his productions always had a bit of theatrical, so you knew where his heart still was. And true enough, the biggest mark Freddie has made is in theater. And the biggest impact he's had on theater is his body of work as a playwright, lyricist, and director. Having rediscovered his faith in the late 80s, the only appropriate avenue of expression for that faith was theater. Musical theater, to be exact, where emotions ran high and feelings could be acted out through melodies and movement. His very first original opera was First Name, a vibrant musical that explored the names of key Bible characters focusing on the Alpha and the Omega, Jesus. For this musical, Freddie used a variety of musical genres, from barbershop quartet-type harmonies, jazz, calypso, and rap. Yes, rap in 1988, long before Lin-Manuel Miranda ever did. Not only did he use a variety of genres, Freddie worked in collaboration with a variety of big-name composers which included a roster of rather impressive names: Gary Valenciano, Ogie Alcacid, Rayan Fuentes, Bob Serrano of Tux. Soon after, Freddie and some close theater friends formed Trumpets, Asia's first professional gospel theater company. It would be, as Freddie, its first artistic director, termed, a spirit-skilled, spirit-filled theater company that would give audiences a production with the best music, acting, staging, and technical elements so that if they rejected the work, you know they would be rejecting the message. And with Freddie at its helm, Trumpets proceeded to do just that. The first production was an adaptation of Cam Floria's Dreamer, Whatever Happened to Joseph. Freddie added a script full of wit and humor to an otherwise staid and predictable cantata, giving it a pizzazz that caught and held your attention, leaving you not only entertained, but engrossed and engaged by its message of hope and forgiveness. 10 years and over 100 performances later, Joseph the Dreamer still has the same effect as when Freddie first conceived it. That has become Freddie's trademark, exploring new techniques and formats, breaking down rules and formulas to come up with productions that are fresh, fun, fanciful, and faith-filled. That would be the good bones on which his original work would be built. As he began directing concerts more and more, his musicals became more and more a hybrid of concerts and theater. His Widows, Orphans, and Wildebeests that dealt with broken homes and dysfunctional families was such a mestizo. It was different and new, as all dialogue was in rhyme, a precursor of what we could now call the spoken word. And Freddie introduced the use of video on huge video walls as a theatrical device here in the Philippines. So David featured songs from the Psalms, and cast members were encouraged to write their own take on the songs they were to sing under Freddie's watchful eye. Il Divino was a story of Leonardo da Vinci, whose amazingly detailed and glorious religious art belied his struggles with life and God. It was told through somber, almost oratorio-like music. Freddie, however, is most proud of Sabel, Love and Passion, inspired by the Sabel paintings of national artist Ben Cab. It combined poetry, ballet, and pop music, was telenovela-like in treatment, and starred a non-singer in the title role of a musical. He would go on to win many awards for his work in the theater, thrice awarded by Aliw Awards for Best Stage Director, elevating him to its Hall of Fame. In 1997, heads of several theater and dance companies thought it was high time to form an umbrella organization to help build the performing arts industry. That group was, and is, PhilStage, and Freddie was one of its founding members. He would go on to be overall director of PhilStage's 100 performances for the Philippine Centennial, his voice resonating throughout the Shangri-La Mall during its duration, announcing the upcoming performances of Buhay, a term he coined for PhilStage's live shows. Gawad Buhay was born out of that. Freddie, however, started to feel that theater should be reaching more people. So he never stopped to find ways to get the word out there to a broader audience, utilizing new technology, newer methods and media. He wanted to go beyond theater. We all thought him a bit crazy, as we think all geniuses are a bit crazy. But like many others before him, Freddie is a man of vision, a man before his time. Freddie started a blog about his experiences in the theater before blogging and vlogging were a thing. He recorded poems and stories and a spoken word before spoken word became a watchword among the millennials. Long before COVID-19 came along, he pushed to have original cast recordings, video clips, and even full musicals of Trumpets put out on YouTube before it was the thing to do. And we're all doing it now. Theater companies all over the world are streaming their productions on YouTube. Not so crazy after all. Freddie has been given a gift by God, and he in turn has given us a bit of himself through everything he has done and all that he is. Thank you, Freddie. The 2020 Natatanging Gawad Award for Theater goes to Freddie Santos.